You're listening to the Fear in the Southwest podcast.
Hey guys, it's Drew from Fear in the Southwest podcast.
Hi, and I'm Stephanie.
What is going on?
Not much. How's your night going?
Oh, you know.
Just same old.
Same stuff.
Different day.
Creepy things to tell.
Oh, yeah. We had a creepy spider here earlier.
Yeah, a little
to say
spider
hi.
came out of the outlet of the wall. Like, hey guys, join the party. And I'm like, no, you're not.
No spiders.
Not when there's cats in the room.
Yeah.
They don't want to play with that. I mean, Blair would probably hunt it, but not a good thing for the cat. Anyways, what's our spooky story topic today?
We're actually going to go into old photographs, because old photographs have that eerie feeling, or, sometimes things are captured in photographs.
Orbs, figures, weird pictures. That's been going around a long time.
Yeah, that's been going on for a long
And
time.
One of the biggest skeptics conversation.
Definitely.
Oh, that's a fake picture. And then you got the thing they call Photoshop now.
Yeah, so now we have editing, filters, different things that could contribute to a photo being off or having some shadowy figure or some type of effect that might look supernatural or just unexplained. But we're going to get into like the old time photos where it was really hard.
Before Snapchat?
Yeah. For all the filters.
You see the dog ears on nothing?
When you had one chance to take a photo.
Oh yeah, like, alright guys, look stoic. Don't move. It's like a smoke bomb going off.
I know, right? It took forever to do a photo back then. That's why, they're one shot, that one photo.
You guys have one shot at this, don't screw it up.
And they were very expensive too back then.
Oh yeah, it was a luxury.
Yeah.
You were getting a picture. You were there.
Yeah. So one of the big things that, people have looked into, like photo became a huge thing in the 19th century, huge thing. Taking photographs, the processing of photographs, it progressed and progressed. But if you ever look at old photos, you'll notice a lot of people aren't smiling. Smiling in a photograph is something pretty new. It started in like the 20s and 30s. I should say the 1920s and 30s. But like,
thanks for the clarification. Smiling was not a thing until the 20s.
Not this 2020. Well, maybe.
And this is how the Great Depression came to be.
But seriously, like people, if you look at old photos, they were very serious. They were very straight on, right on point, and pose positions, and they didn't smile. And so there's a lot of different theories of why people didn't smile. One, picture takes too long. Back then, it took forever for a photograph to actually be taken. And so actually smiling back then wasn't even a thought. It wasn't like for a friendly picture. The photograph was something new, something that people played with. People were just looking to have like that memory in that moment captive. So definitely smiling wasn't the first thing that came about.
Yeah, guys, look creepy. Don't smile. Y'all look depressed as fuck. I don't know what's going on in your guys' life, but
everyone's
like this whole
going
group
to war.
looks like y'all came from a battlefield. Like, thank you. But dang, like, aren't you guys happy to be alive? No? Okay.
But another creepy thing about these pictures is a lot of people would take pictures of the dead.
Oh,
Nowadays,
you've seen that.
Nowadays people don't really, it's kind of a taboo thing to take a picture of a
my dear grandma,
deceased person.
One last selfie.
I have seen people do that. I've seen
That's
a lot of
creepy.
people post videos and, pictures of, like, funerals and stuff. And I don't know. That's not something I don't think I would do. But back in the old days, they really didn't have memories of people. We don't have, like, the tons of, like, photos we have now on our phones or rolls of film, if you remember the film days.
It's not like you're walking around with your smartphone. Check out this picture. No,
Yeah,
it's a
seriously.
process.
Yeah.
They
So
bring out like this scan,
they
box,
would
and like a giant.
they would take pictures of the dead to honor it, to have that picture. And you know, some of these pictures look really creepy because you can't tell some of the pictures from the live people from the dead people because of the facial expressions, you know.
Hey guys, I did a session of dead people earlier and y'all look the same. Can we like step it up a notch, please? Just saying. Paint that picture.
But yeah,
What would it have been like to be the photographer those days?
I don't know. They probably like photographers now, you know. They become sort of like,
Like an artist.
yeah.
Yeah, but like, don't you think we get an eerie feeling taking
They
pictures
grow
of dead
callous
people?
towards it, you know.
Like they're so used to taking pictures of dead people that it's like okay to them. I guess they're getting paid good money then to take pictures of somebody's relatives.
Mm-hmm. And you know, some people objected to have their photo taken. A lot of people believe that the photograph, you know, was taking your soul because it was like considered black magic to some people, you know.
Take my soul with that picture. Ah. Is that the light they were referring to? Because damn, that flash was bright.
I know, right? if you ever watch old-timey movies where they're trying to take it's like a huge flash, there's powder everywhere, big bulb blast, you know, a lot went
It's
into
like you
this.
sent off a bomb to take a picture.
Yeah, so like I said, this was mainly for people who had money.
It was a status thing.
It was a status thing to have photographs, but, you know.
In like Western times, you'd see like like dead guys.
Oh,
in a
yeah,
coffin,
yeah,
leaning up
especially.
against the building.
Yeah, especially if you go to like old towns, like, you know, we've talked about Bisbee, we've talked about Tombstone so many times,
yeah.
but if you go to like some of those museums, you see those photos of the, you know, the caskets or the cemetery, the actual grave site, you know, people took pictures of those.
It's creepy. I've seen those pictures. It's creepy.
And, you know, some cultures would even put like, you know, coins on the eyes, you know. That was also like to help the soul go into the underworld, or some people said that was the token for the underworld, you know, depending on the religious beliefs, the cultural differences and stuff. So
Random thought.
what?
The photographer goes home. I see dead people. Sorry, guys. I have fun with photographs.
All right, so another huge thing in the late 19th century, so this is like the late 1800s, was like ectoplasm. Have you heard of ectoplasm?
Ectoplasm.
Have you heard of it?
I've heard the term.
Okay, so this is where creepy pictures were taken of people where their mouth was open and there was like some type of figure or apparition that was coming from their mouth or coming from some type of surface on their body, like coming out of their ear, their mouth, or even like their fingertips. And a lot of people didn't know if this was because they were playing with photographs, so they actually thought it was something supernatural. You know, this is like the time period where people were playing with like seances, cards, Ouija boards, different things like that. And so they were really dabbling into
A world unknown.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times back then, people really wanted to contact the dead. They really wanted to speak with deceased relatives. They felt haunted. They felt presence. And so they really, really wanted to practice necromancy. And so around this time of the seances and stuff, this is when they started to do the ectoplasm pictures, which a lot of them have been debunked as fake, where they're playing with photo. You know how we play with filters now and adding like cute little things?
Snapchat.
That was their version of, you know, playing with the film, playing with pictures, how to time the picture right. You know, if you've ever taken old school photo where you had to develop the picture and stuff. And so, you know, we'll put some photos online on Facebook about, you know,
Yeah,
some
check
of the
out our
original,
Facebook.
the ectoplasm.
We'll post some
pictures.
pictures so you guys can look at them and, you know, share what you guys think about them. Comment. If you guys know some creepy photos, share them. And while we're talking about our Facebook and our fans, you know, let's thank you guys very much for all the listens and supporting our channel and our growth. And, you know, we're continuously growing and improving, and it's really all thanks to you guys.
Yeah, we got a lot of feedback, a lot of cool messages and different stories from you guys, so we're definitely going to feature that on an episode pretty soon, so, stay tuned for that.
Oh, yeah, and much improvements coming to the show and the quality itself, and we'll be able to actually better expand to our audience, and that'll be coming here in the next few weeks.
Yeah, so that's exciting for us. Just in time for spooky season, Halloween's just right around the corner.
Well, this is in California. We ain't canceling no Halloween.
No, not here in Arizona. We're going to keep going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, in spirit, this channel will forever reign of Halloween. COVID or not.
All right, so back to spooky photo. Have you ever seen anything? Have you ever taken a picture and then you look at it later? Nowadays we have our phone cameras, we had digital cameras. Have you ever seen something that was like, well, what is that? Is it a dust particle? I moved the camera when I was taking this picture. Is it the lighting?
Dad, get your thumb out of the lens.
Right. I remember. Remember the film cameras?
Yeah.
You go on vacation and your thumb or your fingers in every single image.
That's my sound impression of my plastic camera I took to Disneyland that one time.
Shoe boxes worth of film that was 5 years old, undeveloped.
Undeveloped pictures.
Yeah.
Dad, you took that picture, didn't you? Oh, there's a thumb in the lens. That was supposed to be the greatest picture of the whole trip, and it was sabotaged by a finger. Or was it a ghost?
And that's the other thing, not that long ago, we used to have a lot of film. Some people still shoot with film cameras,
it's considered old school.
The process in developing a photo, if you've ever developed a photo,
art in itself.
It really is. I did photo, and in high school, the old-fashioned way, and it was a lot, and one mistake could ruin the photo, but could also make it really eerie. It could make it seem like maybe you did capture something, especially once you got to know how to mess with the effects of the processing.
Once you know how everything worked and what you could do to manipulate it.
Mm-hmm.
Now that brings me into modern day, carrying our smartphones. I remember one time we were in Nevada, and we stopped at this. I forget what it's called. I don't know if it's. I don't remember the exact location, but it was really haunted. So I had a iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say I had an iPhone, so they got pretty. Apple's been pretty good with cameras, and and I had 70% battery life on this phone. I took a picture of the front of this building, and my phone died.
Oh.
Went from 70 to 0, shut down. It literally shut off. I don't even think I have the picture anymore. I don't know if the picture even saved.
Mm-hmm.
We drove probably about 3 or 4 miles away from it. My phone comes back on, nothing happened, and I was down to 20%.
Yeah, that's one thing a lot of people report when they're in a place where there's a haunting, spirits or something. Battery drainage of
because they're feeding off the energy.
Definitely.
And imagine technology, ghosts manipulating.
Mm-hmm. Well, even with
stuff back then.
With the cameras where we used film, some people would be in a haunted area, or they trespass into an area that was known to be haunted, or something really tragic may have happened there, and when the person goes to develop the film, the person's like, well, there's nothing on here, their film was exposed, something had happened to the film where they weren't able to actually capture photos. I've heard of stories like that where it was ruined before they even realized it.
Yeah, that's how tampering would, spirit could tamper with maybe that technology, and makes you kind of wonder, as people I see with Snapchats, and they see the lens of the dog, but there's no face there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one's creepy, and then the tongue comes out, and there's nothing there. Yeah.
Now that could be very much argumentative, just a glitch in the system. It picked up something. I guess maybe I don't understand the technology behind those Snapchat filters and what it relies on to work. But I've seen it where if I've been on my Snapchat and I have something that remotely looks like a face or a shape, if it's a pegboard on the wall, and I had where some tools look like. a face, and I thought it was a face. But like I've seen that video we're talking about, like, oh, open your mouth, and the tongue comes out.
Yeah, and I've seen quite a few of those, like different people too, having that type of experience.
Now, do you think the phones pick it up like that?
You know, who's to say, you know, if other cameras have been able to pick up some stuff here and there, you know. Or, you know, people are just taking a picture. Let's say their dogs are doing something cute, and they take a picture, and there's like a mirror in the background, and there's like a shadow image, or like a face or something of someone that wasn't even in the room, you know. Or, you know, you always hear about people capturing that, or you see photos online, like, look closely here, and you see like an image or like a demonic even face. Yeah,
some of the photos like we've seen, it's hard to tell because you know, technology's gotten so good, like people can put just about anything in an image and make it look like it was already there.
Yeah,
back in like early days of Photoshop, you only got photoshopped. You could definitely see like they didn't work that picture.
Yeah, you really had to work it. Now it's really hard to say, but I always wonder about that with those Snapchat filters, how sometimes it picks up a face that's not there, or just...
It's weird.
It is weird.
I'll give it it's weird. And then, like, I like how that one video, they went, like, analytical with it, and it was like, hey, open your mouth. And the tongue comes out. Okay. That was an intelligent reply. Now, whether if it was a spirit, if it was staged, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But as an audience, you know, looking at it from an audience perspective, hey, like they asked to open the mouth, it opened its mouth, and they didn't really change locations. Mm-hmm. So intriguing. Obviously, photos, videos are going to be very much left for criticism, skepticism.
Oh yeah, videos especially. Videos, you know, you see a lot of like security videos where people think that there is a ghost in their lobby, or they see a ghost in the parking lot. But a lot of times with videos, you know, you have a lot of dust particle that's kicked up at night, especially after, you know,
Bugs.
housekeeping, bugs, moths, you know.
You really got to know the difference. You know, that's the thing. Again, we've talked about this on this channel. The difference, you know, paranormal investigating is being able to debunk. You're not looking per se as a ghost or an orb or it's a spirit. You're like, is it a bug? Is it dust? Mm-hmm. Before you go into the supernatural, you try to eliminate the natural.
Exactly. And then, you know, going back to your phone draining and, like, you know, just technology draining itself, some of these people go in with fully charged cameras ready to capture noise, you know, any type of signs. You know, you see this on ghost shows all the time where they're investigating and all of a sudden the camera's just drained of its energy.
They're like, yeah, you ever watch like those ghost hunting videos or shows, and it's like, we have full charge, like they go into this location and they're like ready to go, fully loaded, and like 10 minutes in the investigation, like battery's dead. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what kind of batteries are they using? Dollar store specials? I don't know, because man, those died quick. But people don't understand, like, that's the kind of energy, you know, they feed off that. Like,
yeah.
That's how you know you're getting some sort of activity, or you might have caught something. Or it's really interesting, you see the camera failures right when the battery dies, or you might catch an orb, you see an orb go into the camera, or near the camera, and it dies. Not always. But it's one of what, I guess you could say, a symptom.
Yeah.
It's a side effect. That's why you'll see a bunch of, like, well-trained professionals in paranormal. They'll have a ton of batteries because they know, like, you know, battery drain's a thing. They're, you know, who wants to go to investigation and, you know, 2 batteries and, like, they both die in, like, 10 minutes and you got, like, 6 hours investigating to go.
Right.
What do? You're just going to charge them.
And another thing, you know, people setting up a recorder, they're recording, you know, the atmosphere, they then play it, and it's when they're playing it back, in that moment of them being there, they heard nothing, but them having the playback, that's where they hear whispers, voices, different sounds.
EVPs.
Yeah, it's very interesting, you know, what kind of things technology has picked up throughout, you know.
Now I'm going to throw this out there. Yes, technology's gotten a lot better to pick up, you know, ghost apparitions. I've seen some. But it's also, I think, how are the spirit, because a lot of spirits or ghosts wants to communicate. Like, that's what they want to do. Like, that's what some of them are here to do. That's all they know. They just want to talk to somebody. They don't know they're between, or for some reason, that's their goals. They want to communicate. How much has that affected, like, all of our technology changes, opened, like, more windows for them to figure out? Are they having to get smart and, like, figure out, like, what our technology is capable of and then, like, utilizing it?
That's actually an interesting thought, yeah.
Like, not only is technology evolving, but are the spirits evolving with it? Are they figuring out, hey, that phone, it can pick me up on the video, or it can pick me up on the camera, or you'll see apps, and if we're going to talk about novelty, Ghost Radar, I've used that on my phone, and this app is predominantly known as, like, it's fake. It's freaking fake. Like, it's just random words.
Yeah.
Yes, predominantly, it's one word at a time, so a lot of times it leaves you room to kind of, like, put a puzzle together, like, you can assume. I've only had, like, 2 instances where I used that app and I was like, whoa, wait, hold on. There might be something to this. It may generate randomly, but maybe not all the time. The first time I used it, I was working in a lady's apartment. I was changing all of her electrical outlets because they were all worn out. It was an older building. And, this is back when, like, Apple was like, there's an app for that,
Yeah.
And she was, like, new into the Apple world. She's got a Mac. She's got an iPhone. Like, so, she was a nice older lady. And she was like, oh. And so I had to turn off all the power to her apartment because obviously I'm changing, like, literally every outlet in this thing. And she's like, I think my apartment's haunted. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, like, I see, I just always feel like there's somebody here. And then I start, because he was talking about, like, the whole app thing. I was like, well, there's an app for that, right? I said that as a joke, really. Oh, right. I said it as merely as a joke. Okay, cool. So I'm like, yeah, it's called Ghost Radar. I don't know how good it is or what it means. But she's like, yeah, let's run it. Oh, okay, well, why not? I'm like, I'm here changing outlets. Got nothing really better to do. Like, and you guys got an app is basically like it shows like a blimp on the radar if there's a ghost or apparition or like a spirit or just a change, and then like you can tell it like, hey, tell us a word, and it'll say the word out loud if it thinks the ghost said it. Quote unquote. That's the gimmick of it. Well. Okay, so I leave it in the living room, and at first I'm just really like, okay, like, this is ridiculous, but, she seems to be intrigued by it, and it's at least somewhat entertaining, while I'm, boringly changing outlets. So, mind you, the electricity's turned off in this apartment now, so I'm not dealing with electrical interference. And this thing starts going nuts, like, just starts like one word at a time, but she was like, as soon as it said the word, she like knew. And it starts naming off every picture in this lady's apartment.
That's really creepy.
Like, it was like fort, and she had like a picture of a fort. It was like cow, and there was a picture of a cow like next to the fort.
Weird.
It was like picture. It starts naming, and then she's like, that one. It starts naming all these pictures off this lady's wall, and I'm like. And then now I'm like, that's really fucking weird. Wait. I didn't scan the walls. Like, I didn't give it permission to even use the camera. It doesn't even use the camera. And the phone's laying on its back.
That's creepy.
In the middle of this lady's, like, living room. And I'm like, okay. But it gets creepier, though. Now I'm starting to catch a little theme here. Like, this thing's naming, like, every picture in this lady's apartment. So now I'm like, I wonder if I can get an intelligent reply. Now I'm really going to just test how this app really works. So I was like, so I asked her, so where do you normally see the spirit? And she's like, in the kitchen, and then like, as soon as it said that sink. Yeah, by the kitchen sink. I'm like,
wow.
okay. And then I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, you
talking
got
to-
goosebumps.
I got
You
goosebumps.
really do have goosebumps.
I got goosebumps thinking about this. It gave me the chills. Because then the next thing that happened, like, made me really, like, this app could work. And some aspects in this app can a lot of times be fake. But I think if it is in a true environment, you'll know. And it will function like it's supposed to. But if it's not, it keeps you entertained. But, so I'm like, okay, now it's named the location where it likes to hang out in this lady's apartment. And she was just like this. Her face was like, oh my God. Yeah, by the kitchen sink. And I'm like, what's your name? And then it was like, William. I was like, well, shit. Like, that was a literally direct reply. I was like, what's your name? It literally, William.
Very interesting.
And then I'm like, okay, so we'll refer to you as William now. But anyways, and then, like, by that point, we're all like, okay,
That's probably enough, yeah.
like, there we go. Like, I guess that's as confirmed as I'm going to get. Got done with the outlets, turned the app off. So every time I saw her at the apartment, I was like, so how's William? And people were like, who the fuck's William? I mean, you wouldn't understand. App told me his name. But, you know, and she was a widow, so like her husband died. And so she was like, and I actually don't remember what the husband's name was, and I don't remember it being the same, but it could have been. But it was very trippy because, like, you know, you think of a novelty app. You know, probably merely for more for entertainment purposes than like for real, but if in the right environment.
Yeah, who knows what can come out through these, especially with our phones now. You know, we have this discussion all the time. Sometimes we're like talking about something, or we're talking about an old movie we like to watch, and then you go onto Facebook and all of a sudden there's a meme, or there's some type of post about this movie, or there's an advertisement for something you were just talking about.
Oh, we need a bathtub, or one of these I want to remodel the bathroom, put a bathtub. Next day on Facebook, Home Depot bathtub on specials. You're like,
yeah,
really?
You know, so it makes you wonder, you know, what's really going on out there? What's happening? Like, if it can, you know, there's been times where I've just thought something driving, and then all of a sudden it's on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, it's in my brain, you know, it's like crazy, and so it makes you wonder, you know, what's.
I mean, I know it's all just marketing. It's just how they do it, but it's.
But if the marketing can have that contact and have gather that much information to pop up, what kind of spirit? Exactly, something that can travel through technology waves, you know. Makes you really wonder.
How deep can they go, and how smart are they getting?
Yeah. Have you ever gone through like your photos, and all of a sudden you see pictures that you didn't take? They're like, I don't know, this probably happens more to girls than guys. Well, it could happen to guys. So you guys put your phones in your pocket, but like, it's in your purse and maybe it's rumbling around, and you get these like weird images that you're like, I never took 50 pictures of this black whatever this image is, or.
Yeah, I've screenshot like black. I've done it all the time.
I don't know. Does that?
I used to check my phone every week for like random screenshots.
One time I had like 40 screenshots, and I'm like, where did these all come from? And I've heard of people that are like, oh, I live alone. I don't really have people over. I was going through my photos, and there's a picture of me sleeping. I've heard of that.
That would be creepy.
Or people accidentally took a photo of themselves even though they weren't even looking at the camera. I mean, it's weird. And it's like, phone do something, or is there something?
Did you get hacked?
That too, right?
Someone else using your phone for you? Maybe. Get off a Wish.
I can't help it. Got good deals sometimes. Takes 5 months, but you get it eventually.
5 months, and you're like, whole 5 months, you're like, oh, what did I order?
Then you forget about it, and then it's like a big surprise,
And then, was it worth it? Was it worth the 5 month wait?
Sometimes it falls apart the moment you take it out of the bag or whatever it is.
It's already broken when you got it. Like, oh, that's sad. I waited 5 months for this broken toy. Or whatever the heck you ordered.
Order toys.
Decorations, lights, tools.
There you go.
People are like, ooh, I ordered a MacBook off Wish. Oh, it was a plastic model display. Oops. Should have read the fine print. Yeah. Oh, wait, what fine print? Anyways, I think we've kind of splurged on some socials and like a shopping site now.
Yeah, we did.
We're really like branching out there.
Yeah, so if you guys have any creepy photos, something you might have caught on camera, something that made you question, or just something eerie, share it with us on Facebook. Especially with those fires, do you see all those pictures?
Doesn't it look apocalyptic?
It does. It looks really creepy,
I wonder what kind of energy what that brings.
Like, it just looks unreal. It's like this a deep red sky everywhere, and like people are taking these photos. They're taking photos of like abandoned buildings with this red sky. It's very eerie. And
my condolences to all the families from that fire. This fire looks intense.
Yeah, it is. And we're here all the way down in Arizona, and we have like a red sun every day.
We've been getting red sun, smoke.
We get.
I'm an asthmatic, so my breathing's like really suffering.
Our air quality is really bad right now, so we're getting that wind here. But definitely very, very sorry for everything that's going on over there.
Yeah. So, for any of our fans that are in that area, like, hang in there, stay strong,
and keep safe.
Keep safe. And again, our condolences. I've seen some of the pictures of homes lost. And
I know, entire
neighborhoods, like
little towns wiped out. Like
and then like all the firefighters are working on this. Like,
I know,
my gosh,
nonstop. And
we thought the bighorn fire in Arizona was bad.
Yeah, we had a bad fire here.
It was bad.
It was really bad. And some of these fires, the firefighters can't just like drive to this area. They have to hike miles and miles to even get close to it. And
as fast as it moves.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's going to bring its own sorts of energy, future hauntings and stories.
Yeah, that energy there.
It's going to have that energy. But, yeah, I mean, technology, photos, and, like, old school versus new school. And, like, have you caught anything on a camera phone?
I've caught a lot of orbs, especially using film cameras, going to the mountains and stuff. But, people say, it could actually be orbs. It could be dust. It could be small, insects that are flying in the air that you've captured, and light refraction. So who knows? But, you know what? I'll go through some old photos. If I find something interesting, I'll post it for you guys.
I wish I could find where these photos went. I did go into the old Washoe Club, Nevada.
Oh, yeah.
And there, I don't know if you've seen the episode Ghost Adventures, but like that back room that used to be the morgue. It's like a beer cooler now or something. Uh-huh. It's like a cold room. And I went in there and I took a couple pictures. I got a couple orbs.
Yeah?
It was cool. And that was like the same day I got the picture of the hotel and the battery died. And it was a very haunting kind of day for me. It was fun. So I was all like excited. Yeah, I killed my battery. Woo! That stuff is real.
Well, hopefully we'll get to go on some little road trips.
And that's another...
Go to little ghost towns that we talked about, on a previous episode. So we're hoping to make our way through there soon, especially if things ease up a little bit.
Yeah.
In terms of COVID and everything.
And our studio upgrade we're getting is going to actually allow us to be more mobile.
Oh, yeah.
We can record on site.
Definitely.
And that'll be fun. Yeah, I mean, I think we covered the basics: old photos, new photos, apps, technology, how ghosts can manipulate it.
Yeah.
And how they're learning as fast as we're learning. Imagine their world. Maybe this ghost died in the 20s.
Who knows?
What the hell is a smartphone? We've been trying to get a hold of somebody for the last 90 years, and
now they can. Maybe they find some type of wavelength and realize, hey, these people heard me.
Speaking of ghosts and technology, video games. Do you ever read that article about a saved game that the dad died and the son started playing the game and the dad's ghost race car ghost basically showed up?
No, that's
to race his son, so his son was racing his dad.
Oh, that's really.
Because it's it's kind of weird. It's cool. It's saved, and that was kind of. It's not really maybe haunted, but it's just a creepy how things can be.
Yeah.
Remembered and how spirits can infiltrate. maybe you hear a voicemail or voicemail from someone that's dead. Like, wait, what?
Oh yeah.
Did I hear that voice? Who is that? Like, you've been dead for like 10 years. What the heck? A lot of creepy stuff when it comes to technology, phones, cameras, games, old school photos, manipulation of photos. And you got Photoshop, so you got to be really, really knowledgeable what you're looking at.
Yeah, definitely.
Knowing the differences from this and that. Because you can easily get caught into that's Photoshopped. And you're going to see most of them are going to be manipulated, Photoshopped. But occasionally you're going to get one like, well, that was interesting. That's why it's nice when you take the picture, you have the backstory, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't mess with this photo.
Yeah, so like we said, if you have any photos you want to share, go ahead and post them on our Facebook. Any stories behind them,
Yeah,
post
definitely.
a comment with them or anything like that.
Yeah, tell us a story about that picture where you took it. Did you see the whatever you caught initially, or did it take time to come to see it? Did you take the photo because you thought something was there? Yeah, let us know in the comments. Check out the Facebook if you're in the Southwest Podcast. We'll post some pictures there, and and if you're on Anchor and you're listening to us, feel free to leave a voice message off our main page on Facebook. Anchor. I'll see if we can get a link to that and put it on Facebook so you guys can actually leave a voicemail of the story and we can actually include it in another episode.
That'd be awesome.
I think that's all for tonight.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for listening, everyone.
And thank you all again. Stay creepy.